Good evening from Game Time Training Center in Fairfield, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati. Welcome to the Cincinnati Swerve Facebook Live webcast of tonight's Major Arena Soccer League 2 match as the Muskegon Risers and Cincinnati Swerve meet for the fourth and final time this season in the Great Lakes Division. I'm Keith Kokinda. Thanks for logging on here tonight, along with Zach Pike of Vixel Video doing all the camera work and production. Muskegon come in tonight 5-6. They're second in the division behind Cleveland Crunch, who are a perfect 10 from 10 this season, but they did book a place in the MASL playoffs. But the Risers are playing quite a bit short-handed here. Risers booked their place with the win back on February 19th over Cincinnati up in Muskegon, 15-7. They're in the playoffs, but they're going to be going in shorthanded. They're missing their top three goal scorers for the rest of the season: Miguel Flores, Aldoni Mendez, and Adenuche Afarati. Ben Ritzema was telling me that's going to hamper them come playoff time. They had a lot of trouble just making sure they had enough bodies to get out here. Cincinnati Swerve, on the other hand, a very disappointing season. Only one win from 9 so far this season. Swerve in the all-red kits tonight, kicking off. Going right to left on your device screen. A lot of number changes out here tonight for these new red kits that the Swerve are wearing. Flicked ahead trying to find Abe Kenna, who scored 4 goals up in Chicago last weekend in the first game that they lost, 15-11. Swerve also lost 7-5 on Sunday. 3 straight wins for the Mustangs over Cincinnati after the Swerve won that first match here in overtime. Andre Novakovic on the back line here in the opening minute. Corey Wisenhunt in goal to our right. The ankle problem just about healed, he says, although he is still feeling the effects of having played both games last weekend in Chicago. Big scramble in front. Cleared away. Falling to the feet of. We got a couple numbers that we didn't account for on the team sheet. That is Eric Moser trying to send the ball forward. Here come the Risers in the all-green kits the other way. That's Brandon Dismore, joint leading scorer for the Risers among the players who are here, along with Brandon Edwards. That's Taichi Yamada, the number 14, tracking back on defense now. Minute and a half gone in this opening period. Michael Schmidt looking for the long ball forward. Here come the Swerve the other way. It's Ewald Bugassi. Bugassi with Marcus Ernst trailing him. Schmidt able to clean that up defensively. Long ball ahead, trying to find Yamada. Getting there first, though, for Cincinnati was Logan Gray. Now the Swerve will reorganize. Derek Mosier or Ewald Bugassi will go for a line change. 12:45 left in this first period. Up the boards for Kalu Abbas. Abbas's pass for Tyler Washington is taken away, but improperly so, as the foul whistled up on Colin O'Keefe. 2.5 minutes played in this opening period. Ball ahead into the corner, cleared away by Akani Mayambu, the South African, in goal tonight for Muskegon. The second choice goalkeeper, Michael Vollmer, is actually scheduled to play as an outfield player tonight. Not always an appealing prospect for us goalkeepers. Abe Kenna tracking back. Or check that's Manny Adjai. He's got the 27 shirt on tonight. All kinds of shirt switches with these new red kits the Swerve have. They also wore these in the the PASL game played earlier. Swerve winning 8-2 over Elizabethtown, Kentucky, which books a place in the PASL National Championship in Chicago for the Swerve PASL team. So congratulations, boys. Bugassi being pressured there by O'Keefe. Now they get it forward. It's Abe Kenner with a shot into the box, scramble in front, but the Risers briefly come away with it. Bugassi had a chance. Bugassi looking for the second ball, can't find it, and the Risers break out the other way 4 minutes into the first period. Well defended there by Andrei Novakovic. He'll quickly come forward. It's a 3-on-1 if they hurry. Novakovic, good clearance there by Brandon Edwards to deny the 3v1 there. Abe Kenner will trigger this restart. Tyler Washington there. Kalu Abbas with a shot got partially deflected. Tyler Washington can't win that ball. Now he does. Now he loses it. Got it back. Well, back Moses Crawford back there lets it go back to his goalkeeper Mayambu. Ryan Wagonmaker with the long flick ahead for Robbie Johnson. Johnson being defended there by Eric Moser. And Moser comes away with it for the Swerve. 10:22 left in the opening period. Still awaiting the first goal. Off the line change, long ball ahead, finds Bugassi down in the corner, being watched there by Steve Merker. Bugassi will withdraw almost to the halfway line. Now looks for the runner. Instead, the switch for Kalu Abbas. So it was Abbas who went down on that foul there, so a good restart opportunity here for Cincinnati. There'll be Novakovic coming on. Down deep, and there's the goal off the restart. Jay Shallow gets the goal off the restart. Down deep from a tight angle. So the Swerve get the opener. Long run ahead by Matthew Schmidt of the Schmidt brothers. Swerve trying to clear, finally do only as far as Michael Vollmer, who's over there on defense, along with Michael Schmidt, who gets the return ball here. Now Novakovic will come out to pressure a little tighter. Shallow up front as well. Swerve trying to push Muskegon back a little bit farther. Now Yamada comes back on defense. He has Dinsmore with him. Instead goes for the cross-field pass, and it's taken away. Novakovic. Cincinnati slowing it down as they go for a change with 8:40 to go in the first period, and the Swerve holding the 1-0 lead. Here's Moses Crawford. To his right is Dinsmore, uses him and then gets the return ball. Bugassi up front putting on some pressure. Crawford again. Dinsmore now makes the run forward. Tried to get to him. Bugassi got in the way. Here's a chance. Good save by Wisenhunt as he came off his line to deny Steve Merker. Second chance blocked in front. Wisenhunt with the foot first clearance. Crawford has to withdraw. Across to his defense partner, Brandon Edwards. Edwards will have to pinch forward and send it back in. Kenne clears it away. Merker was just denied there by Wisenhunt for his first tough save of the night. And Wisenhunt did play both games up in Chicago last weekend. Good job settling it down by Kalu Abbas. And now Wisenhunt with 7:27 to go in the first period. Swerve still up 1-0 over the Risers. Goal coming from Jay Shallow. Now Yamada for Edwards. The return ball to Yamada in the corner. And Yamada wins the free kick. Francesco Calabrese to trigger this restart. Moses Crawford with him. Robbie Johnson just outside the defensive line. They tried to go to Yamada at the back post, and he mishit it. Oh, a great sitter there for the Japanese, but couldn't finish it from a tight angle. Johnson, Yamada, Calabrese making the run to the near post. Calabrese, the heel pass attempt. Doesn't come off. Yamada with a good tackle to win the ball and the free kick as well. Or check that. No, that was Calabrese there who got in that tangle, along with Abe Kenna. Fortunately, both players kept their cool. And Novakovic and Calabrese share a light moment there as they prepare the restart. Steve Merker sneaking his way to the back post. Calabrese goes that way, punched out well by Wisenhunt as he went for goal. Now there's a chance. Johnson, same place, same result. Wisenhunt quickly throwing for Novakovic, 1v2. Good move to get around his marker. Now goes in and scores a beautiful goal. And Corey Wisenhunt should get the assist on that one, but what a run and what a move by Andre Novakovic. Not only to settle that ball down, but to get around his marker and double the Swerve lead. So 2 goals for the Swerve in the space of just over 3 minutes, and they've gone out front 2-0. Shallow and Novakovic. Swerve are without some players as well tonight. Anders Michelson, who's actually sitting just a few feet away from us over here to our right, is out with an ankle injury. Picked that up last weekend in Chicago. Dom Alvarado and George Christopher also out. Reminder, the Swerve will be back at it again tomorrow afternoon here, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. The Cleveland Crunch come to town again. The third of 4 meetings between the 2 Ohio rivals. They will meet again next Saturday up in Cleveland at Soccerplex in North Olmsted. They'll close out the regular season for both teams. Crunch long booked their place in the playoffs. Again, a perfect 10 wins from 10 this season. So 2-0 Swerve, 6:29 left in the opening period. Shallow and Novakovic, the goal scorers. Michael Schmidt on the back line there, right in the center of the park. Schmidt gets it back from O'Keefe. O'Keefe's going to check that from Steve Merker. And Vollmer is wearing number 77 instead of his customary 17. And here's a chance for the Risers. Great save by Wisenhunt, once again denying Merker. Second time Wisenhunt has come up big against the number 13 from Muskegon. 5:45 left in period number one as Wisenhunt maintains the Swerve 2-0 lead. Merker trying to make the switch to O'Keefe. O'Keefe trying to bang one off the ball in front. Moser got in the way of that for Cincinnati. Now the Swerve will look to slow it down and make the line change with 5:25 left in the first. Loose pass there for Kalu Abbas. Getting it back is Iwo Bugasi. He'll send it across to Moser and then go for a change himself. Abbas, not a good first touch. Moser just sends it all the way in to the penalty area. And getting there is Kalu Abbas, who sneaks it across, but it goes right to the face of the goal as he had Mihambu down from a tight angle. Wonderful touch, but just couldn't get enough spin on it to tuck it inside the far post. Yamada wins the ball for Muskegon. Yamada gets by Abbas, and from a tight angle shot, another good save by Wisenhunt. Well, Wisenhunt told me he was still feeling the effects of playing both games last week in Chicago, but he looks pretty sharp so far tonight. Several good saves already, including 2 on Merker. Here's Crawford. Now a chance and another save, this time to deny Matthew Schmidt. Long throw ahead, trying to find Abe Kenna, but a little too strong, and it was Miambu coming up with the clearance for Muskegon. Nice ball at the boards to get by Yamada, and here go the Swerve on the attack once again. Four minutes left in this first period. 2-0 Swerve. Goals from Shallow and Novakovic. In the middle of the period, Tyler Washington. Kalu Abbas with a long ball ahead. Bugasi trying to come, or should they, Kenna trying to come in field. Yamada takes it away. Here comes Brandon Dismore the other way. To his right is Yamada. Yamada gets the ball. O'Keefe from distance. Good save again by Wisenhunt. He's on tonight. Crawford holds off a challenge. Now here's Yamada again. O'Keefe calling for a ball in the corner and gets it. Crawford blocked in front. And Wisenhunt's defense helps him out there. But the Swerve can't clear. Now O'Keefe with a chance. Tries for the cheeky little chip, and Wisenhunt denies him again. 3 minutes remaining in period number one. Still 2-0 Swerve. Kenna. Good run up the boards by Bugasi, but the referee got in the way. Here goes O'Keefe the other way for Muskegon. Yamada in the corner. Kenna's there to ride him off. Wisenhunt looking for Novakovic. That combination worked for the last Swerve goal. Not this time, though. Johnson for Michael Schmidt. And now Muskegon will slow it down with a change for 2:20 to go in the first period. Johnson, Michael Schmidt. It's Jay Swallow up there putting on some pressure. Swallow, the first goal scorer for the Swerve, who have won a free kick by way of Iwo Bugasi. 2 minutes, 5 seconds left in period number one. Swallow. Abbas, dispossessed by Michael Schmidt. Now he looks for the overlapping run, the return ball, but getting there first was Swallow. Long ball ahead, trying to find Bugasi, but Michael Schmidt is there defensively. And a foul whistled up. The free kick was won by Franco Calabrese of Muskegon with 1:41 to go. Here's Merker. Into the box, goes out over into the corner. Merker again. And it's catching practice for Corey Wisenhunt. Now to 1:15 left in the first period. Still a 2-0 Swerve lead. Muskegon have had several good chances, but Corey Wisenhunt has been really on his game tonight, but he commits the foul there, taking down Steve Merker. Merker wants the blue card to come out, but his appeal falls on deaf ears. 56 and 7/10 seconds left in this first period. Looks like Merkel will take this free kick as Calabrese goes into the box. O'Keefe set up just outside the Cincinnati defensive line. He gets it. First time shot. Might have hit it might have hit Calabrese in front actually, and the Swerve able to clear. Vollmer, O'Keefe, 42 seconds left. Merker signals O'Keefe to go forward. Actually, he's going out for a change with 35 seconds left in the first period. Merker again. Up into the corner looking for Calabrese, who was able to win the ball, but gets taken off of it pretty quickly. Eric Moser, the defensively for Cincinnati, now settles it down. Lifted ahead, Novakovic with 15 seconds left in the first period. Swallow giving chase as he pressures Crawford. Down to 5 seconds. Long ball ahead. Calabrese trying for one more opportunity, but that'll do it for period number one. The 2 goals in the middle of the period for the Swerve, and they're up 2-0 after one as they look for just their second win of this season. Only other win for Cincinnati was against Chicago back on February 12th, 9-8 in extra time. And Muskegon have lost their last 3. Their last win came at home against Chicago back on February 5th as they put the Mustangs to the sword 13-2, something I didn't think I'd ever be saying, the way the Mustangs have dominated this division over the last several years. Again, Cleveland Crunch will be here tomorrow. Last home game of the regular season for the Swerve. Then they'll have the reverse fixture next Saturday night up in North Olmsted. Muskegon have qualified for the playoffs, but it'll be a big ask for them without their leading goal scorers. Well, they've certainly created a lot of good goal-scoring opportunities here so far tonight, but Corey Wisenhunt has come up big, standing on his head, as the hockey phrase goes. You can look at the South African goalkeeper, Akani Mayambu, in that beige and light blue kit of his. Right at the bottom of your screen, that's Taichi Yamada. Looks like he's battling a little cramping issue there based on the stretching he's doing. Again, the Swerve and the all-red kits tonight, going left to right here in period number 2. That's Tyler Washington there right at the bottom of your screen. And away we go, as Bob Cole would say, in period number 2. O'Keefe gets in the way of that pass, but the Swerve have it back and quickly go to the attack with 4 going forward. Washington making the run into the center. Instead, great save by Mayambu. Now Yamada trying to win the ball and go forward. He's cut off there by, I'm not sure who the number 27 is. Again, a lot of shirt number changes here with these red kits tonight. Opening minute of period number 2. Swerve up 2-0. Swallow and Novakovic, the goal scorers for Cincinnati. Tyler Washington getting pressured there by Moba Shahoka. Sashoka, I should say, my mistake. Sashoka getting his first shift and winning the free kick for Muskegon. 54 seconds played. Moses Crawford looks like he wants this restart. Johnson to his left. He'll go to him. And that was always over the top. Wisenhunt up and throwing, trying to find Abe Kenna. Crawford there for Muskegon. There's Merker again. Merker being harassed by Washington, forced to withdraw into his own half and all the way back to Mayambu. Just made an outstanding save in the opening stages of this second period. Crawford with the switch, trying to find Ryan Wagonmaker in the corner. Tries to play a ball off the boards for Sashoka. Ball into the box, goes all the way through for Crawford now. Great save with the right hand by Corey Wisenhunt, denying Robbie Johnson. He does concede the corner. Here's Merker again, and it hit a player in front. Another shot blocked in front. Well, Merker has to be thinking, how many times do I get opportunities like this? Johnson dispossessed. And quickly the other way, it's Novakovic. Finding Abe Kenna. Looks for the ball off the boards. Crawford is there defensively for Muskegon. .55 left in the first half. Here's Novakovic, second goal scorer for Cincinnati. Turns, and he scores from long range. And Mayambu had no idea that ball was coming. He was definitely caught unsighted by his lack of reaction. Just 2:12 into the second period. So 3-0 is now the Swerve lead. Novakovic has the last 2 goals. Michael Schmidt going to the corner for Vollmer. Again, Vollmer's normally the second choice goalkeeper, but they're so short-handed, the Risers. They have to use him as an outfield player tonight, and he commits the foul, taking down Logan Gray. Wisenhunt has been fantastic so far tonight. Into the corner for Marcus Ernst, and he can't control off the boards. Mayambu gets it to O'Keefe. O'Keefe, Iwo Bagasi dispossesses him and gets it back to Logan Gray. And now Eric Moser, long ball ahead. There goes Kalua Bass. Does a nice little spin to get by 2 players and gives it off for Logan Gray on the overlap. Gray able to dig it out of the corner, but cut off there by Brandon Dinsmore. Good defensive play there. Both teams making changes with 11:35 to go in the second period. You really don't change the period in the scoreboard. 3-0 Swerve, the score is correct. Swallow and Novakovic with a brace. Here's a chance to turn. Wisenhunt makes the save, and I think he made it with his face. Another chance denied, denying Dinsmore. Matthew Schmidt with the first chance to hit Wisenhunt in the face, and I think he's dazed a little bit by that. The referee giving him some extra time there, but that ball was on him so fast, Wisenhunt couldn't even get the hands up. .50 left in the first half. Still 3-0 Swerve, thanks in large part due to Corey Wisenhunt. Dinsmore just had that second bite of the cherry denied. Now here's Yamada going against Washington from a tight angle. Save again by Wisenhunt. Not as difficult as some of the others. but a good one. And now up and throwing, trying to find Kenna. Dinsmore got there first to get it back to Miambu. Novakovic. Good tackle there by Michael Schmidt. Tyler Washington now. Eric Mosier. Manny Agi back there on defense wearing the number 27. Here's Novakovic. Novakovic comes in field. Yamada concedes the corner to the disgust of Miambu. Trying to play it straight across on the corner kick. Steve Merker getting there defensively for Muskegon. Agi for Bugassi. Shot from a tight angle. Miambu made that save. Bugassi trying to get on the rebound. Finally does win it back away from Steve Merker, who's appealing for a foul. Agi ball ahead for Kenna, and shepherded back to Miambu by Johnson. Now here's Dinsmore from a tight angle, and Wisenhunt is there again. O'Keefe wins that ball. And here come the Swerve the other way now. Novakovic with 2 already tonight. Bugassi looking to slow things down as both teams are completing a change with just over 9 minutes left. Now 9 minutes exactly in this first half. Wisenhunt looking long in the corner. Kalua Boss trying to turn. Washington wins it back. Washington faces up against Yamada. Abe Kenna trying to fight off 2 green shirts and does so. Long ball ahead for Abbas one more time. Kalua Abbas trying to turn on Crawford from a tight angle over the head and hands of Miambu. Washington tracking it down. Swallow, the first goal scorer for Cincinnati, back to Washington, who's fouled by Francesco Calabrese. Wisenhunt. The long ball ahead. In the corners, Kalua Boss trying to fight off 2 challenges. Can't do it. Ahead for Yamada. Taichi Yamada. Swallow closes him down. Crawford. Volmer. Crawford again. Michael Volmer again. He's normally a goalkeeper. Crawford again. 7:45 left in the second half, in the second quarter. Swerve with the 3-0 lead. Ryan Wagonmaker gets it across to Volmer. Now Moses Crawford. Wisenhunt may have gotten a touch on that. It sure sounded like it. I thought I heard a touch on the long distance shot by Calabrese. Here come the Swerve the other way. Now they'll slow it back down and backtrack as they complete their own line change. Back to Wisenhunt. Swallow to his right, telling people to go forward. Here's Eric Moser. Moser looking for the return pass. Gets up the board. Swallow is up ahead of him. Yamada watching him, and now back to Ewell Bugassi with 6:55 left in the second. Now a flick ahead. Swallow had come out of the corner. Crawford can't win the ball away. Now he gets a touch in. Novakovic with a shot. Yamada blocked it. There's a chance by Mosier going wide. Bugassi again. Bugassi challenged by Sashoka. Swallow can't get it by number 6, Brandon Edwards, but it goes over the boards. If I see Francesco Calabrese after the match, I'm definitely not going to bring up Scotland being Italy in the Six Nations earlier today. As timeout is called by Cincinnati, 6:22 left in the second quarter. And the Swerve up 3-0. I'm Keith Kokenda. Zach Pike of Vixel Video handling all of the production technical duties tonight and doing a terrific job. Especially with that big camera pole we have up there to give you that overhead view of the field. And Ted Swallow and Andrei Novakovic in the first period, just over 3 minutes apart. Novakovic's first goal, Corey Wisenhunt got the assist, and then he scored again just 2:12 into the second. And that's where we stand. And again, just a few weeks ago, Muskegon scored 15 against Cincinnati up in Muskegon. 15-7 win for the Risers, which as it turned out because of other results over the next week or so, booked the Risers' place in the MASL2 playoffs. Craig Rodas will be coming over here at the end of the second quarter. He actually played a little bit in the PASL match earlier today. It still looks pretty good out there. Corey Wisenhunt going back into his goal to our left. He has been just short of spectacular here tonight, including a save off the face coming from Robbie Johnson. Again, 6:22 left in the first half. Tyler Washington on the restart. He'll just give it back to Manny Agi, and then the ball flicked over the glass by Cincinnati. So the Risers get the restart in their own end with 6:11 to go. Risers still looking for their first goal, down 3-0. Johnson. Michael Schmidt. He'll go across, trying to find O'Keefe. O'Keefe back to Johnson. Johnson will go the other way for Steve Merker, who's been denied several times by Wisenhunt. Michael Schmidt works the 1-2 with Merker. Getting there defensively was Abe Kenna. Brandon Dismore trying to win the ball back, and he does. He fights off the challenge from Manny Agi. High spinning ball right into the box. And the Swerve able to clear their lines. But that restart will come out to the penalty arc. Good defensive work there by Kalu Abbas. And that spinning ball that went high in the air came down right in the middle of the Cincinnati box. A dangerous restart opportunity for the Risers with 5:27 left in period number 2, and the Risers desperately looking to pull one back here. Michael Schmidt, 68, and Steve Merker, 13. It's Merker, O'Keefe. The shot was blocked. O'Keefe with the second bite of the cherry goes all the way through off the boards, and Wisenhunt grabs it before Dinsmore could pounce on it. Dinsmore didn't know much about that ball coming through. If he got a little flick when it came through, he might have beaten Wisenhunt. Now Washington. Abbas taking off the ball, and here comes Dinsmore the other way for the Risers with 5 minutes left in the first half. Crawford going forward. He's going to be cut off there by Manny Agi, who gets it back to Corey Wisenhunt. Nice dummy there by Agi, but Novakovic goes down in a heap as he's got caught by the turf monster. He gets it back, though. Now with Kenna. Kenna dispossessed. 4.5 minutes to go. Brandon Dinsmore, who won that ball, gets it across to Matthew Schmidt. Tried to make the fake, but it doesn't come off. 2v3 the other way for the Swerve. They get it to the back post for Abe Kenna. Mayambu with the tackle outside the box. Good goalkeeping by the South African. Ball off the boards, but no red shirts there close enough. Getting there is Logan Gray for Cincinnati. Yamada dispossessed by Novakovic. And Novakovic goes down with a late challenge, but we play on. Matthew Schmidt able to get it back to Michael Vollmer. And now Moses Crawford, 3:45 left in the second period. Colin O'Keefe. Could have been a handball whistle up there on Ewell Bagasse, but we play on. Brandon Edwards. Edwards from a tight angle goes off the boards. Novakovic there for Cincinnati. And here comes Novakovic with a 2v1 opportunity with Bagasse. Ewell Bagasse goes off the boards just behind Novakovic. Quickly the way for Taichi Yamada. Yamada, Calabresi to his left, instead uses Crawford. And now Edwards. Crawford leaves it for O'Keefe. Spinning ball. A couple players can't find it. Finally, it's Edwards who has to track it down for O'Keefe. 2:55 left in the second. Still Swerve up 3-0. Brandon Edwards from a tight angle. Wisenhunt gets the save off the boards. And the Swerve clear their lines. Here goes Ewell Bagasse, but Mayambu is there. Again, very good goalkeeping by the South African to come off his line and win that ball. Otherwise, Bagasse's in alone. 2.5 minutes left in the first half. Swallow and a brace from Novakovic have the Swerve up 3-0 as Merker trying to put some pressure on Wisenhunt. Gets it ahead for Marcus Ernst. Ernst taken off the ball by Robbie Johnson. One back by the Swerve. Here's a chance for Kalu Abbas, and Abbas is denied by Mayambu. Ernst. Shot partially blocked by Merker. Now here's O'Keefe for Robbie Johnson. Johnson will go forward with 1:50 to go. Now we'll slow it down for O'Keefe, and now Michael Schmidt. 1:45 left in the first half. Still 3-0 Cincinnati. Long ball into the opposite corner, trying to find Ryan Wagenmaker down there. Wagenmaker digs it out, but all he does is flick it up the boards back into his own half, where Michael Schmidt has to track it down with less than 1.5 minutes to go until halftime. Try to get to Wagenmaker again. Well won by Eric Moser. Now it's Logan Gray with 1:10 left. Gray for Mosier. Mosier being pressured by Robbie Johnson. Across for Gray, back to Mosier. Final minute of the first half. Michael Schmidt gets the loose pass for the Risers. Looks for Yamada. Washington. Washington can't win the ball. Yamada. Michael Schmidt again. Now Yamada with some space. Down to 40 seconds left until halftime. Michael Schmidt will send it long into the corner, trying to find Wagenmaker. It's interrupted by Mosier. Mosier's pass denied by Michael Schmidt. Now here's Abe Kenna. Wagenmaker faces up on him. Kenna will just withdraw, get it back to Logan Gray. Now Andre Novakovic. Taken down by Michael Vollmer, but no foul whistled up. 3 seconds, too, and that will do it for the first half. Cincinnati Swerve in firm control here, up 3-0. We'll take a break and be back with the second half and a few thoughts from Craig Rodas. You're watching the MASL 2 on Facebook Live. All right, a great personal risk here. No, I'm just kidding. Anders Michelson here with us, out with the ankle injury tonight, but so far, in spite of all the few guys missing, pretty solid performance in the first half, I'd say.
I'll tell you what, I couldn't agree with you more. It looks like we're coming out very aggressive. We're controlling the ball, and it looks like we got Muskegon on their heels. We got a 3-0 lead, and I'm really looking forward to the second half. Shout out to Blair. She's the coach's daughter. She's #1 fan. She's been at all the games.
Yes, I've seen her there many times. But
Oh, yeah.
this probably wouldn't be a 3-0 lead, though, without Corey Wisenhunt. He was fantastic in that first
Tell
half.
you what, he's a wizard in goal.
Yeah, he was.
Absolutely magisterial.
Yeah, especially coming off that ankle injury here. Speaking of ankle injuries, think there's a chance you'll be able to play in Cleveland next weekend?
I hope so. A little inside info. He's got a little torn pec muscle as well, but he's throwing the ball like a beast.
Meaning Corey Wisenhunt, not Anders. Anders, you better not be throwing the ball. That's not allowed. So,
The return of Anders Michelson is highly anticipated.
yeah. So looking forward to seeing you in Cleveland next weekend. So thank you very much, Anders. We appreciate the time. But again, 3-0 Swerve, and again we'll have we'll have Craig Garotis over here a little later on during halftime. So stick with us here on Facebook Live. Welcome back to Game Time Training Center in Fairfield, Ohio. Thanks for joining us here on the Cincinnati Swerve Facebook page for our Facebook Live webcast of MASL2 action. I'm Keith Kokinda along with Zach Pike of Vixel Video, handling all the production and technical aspects. Cincinnati Swerve with a 3-0 lead over Muskegon Risers after the first half. Ted Swallow got the first goal at 5:16 from Manny Agi off a restart. And then at 8:31, it was Andre Novakovic with a terrific pass from Corey Wisenhunt, weaving his way through past a couple defenders and then scoring to make it 2-0 after one period. He also got the Swerve third goal just 2:12 into period number 2, and that's where we stand. He now has 8 goals on the season. And just picked this up on Twitter, some sad news for those of us in the broadcasting world. Alan Massengale, who was one of the original anchors and reporters both at ESPN in their early days, along with one of the earliest hires at Fox Sports 1, has passed away after a long battle with cancer. Got that by way of Tim Brando of FS1 of Fox Sports in his Twitter feed. Massengale was due to be inducted into the University of Georgia Hall of Fame later this year. He's a proud Bulldog, and certainly want to send along our sympathies to all of Alan's family. And thank you, Tim, if you're watching out there, thank you very much for passing that on, even though it is sad news indeed. So here we go in half number 2 with Cincinnati Swerve going right to left in the all-red kids tonight. Hate to say it looks like Liverpool out there, especially since Liverpool won today in the Premier League. I would have preferred white shorts and black shorts like Manchester United, who also won today, thanks to Cristiano Ronaldo. And all those people a couple weeks ago saying he was done and all washed up, I think are eating their words on social media now after he got all 3 goals for Manchester United today in the win over Tottenham. Novakovic tries the dummy to get around Matthew Schmidt, but then commits the foul in the process. So Risers get the early restart. Swerve up 3-0, 46 seconds into period number 3. Here is Michael Schmidt looking for the long ball into the box. Tried for the flick on, but it goes right to Wisenhunt. Michael tried to get to his brother Matthew, but Matthew couldn't get a touch on it to flick it past or over Wisenhunt, who was fantastic in that first half. And as you might have heard from Anders Michelson, he's also got a pectoral muscle tear, which has got to hurt when he's throwing the ball. As Robbie Johnson wins the free kick on the foul from Kalu Abbas. And Johnson actually lost a boot, so he needs to go for a change here. And that's Colin O'Keefe coming on for the restart. He'll now team up with Michael Schmidt on the back line. Here's Akani Mayambu. Had a couple of very good saves in their first half. Eric Moser there defensively for Cincinnati, but here comes O'Keefe for the Risers. O'Keefe, shot partially blocked by Logan Gray. One back by Francesco Calabresi. And then a foul is going to be whistled up on Colin O'Keefe. No, it's going the other way. .15 left in the third. The Risers have yet to score, but it wasn't from lack of chances, that's for sure. Corey Wisenhunt, the main reason why it's still a 0 on the Risers side of the score sheet. Good tackle there by Francesco Calabresi, who will now come forward 3v3 into the corner for Brandon Edwards. Edwards dispossessed. Now O'Keefe with a point-blank chance, and he couldn't get a lot on it. Wisenhunt there again. Both teams completing a change with 12:45 left in the third period. On ball back for Manny Agi, who set up that first Cincinnati goal. Now back to Wisenhunt. That's Taichi Yamada up there, number 14, putting on some pressure. Into the corner. Mayambu's going to come out of his box and clear his lines. Got it as far as shallow, but he didn't get a good first touch on it. Now, here comes Moses Crawford the other way, the 94 for Muskegon. For Ryan Wagenmaker, who gets it back. Now Brandon Edwards. In the far corner, Muskegon have an open player calling for it. A long distance shot again. Wisenhunt making the save. Novakovic trying to get by Steve Merker, who was denied several times by Wisenhunt in that first half. There's Alex Snell getting it back to Manny Adjai. 11:40 left in quarter number 3. Wisenhunt being pressured. Wisenhunt's going to have to get rid of it in a hurry. He hits the referee. Merker is there, tries to get it to O'Keefe, but Snell is there defensively for the Swerve. There was Moba Sashoka who was calling for that ball in the corner. It was open down there, but the Risers couldn't get it to him. Mosier for Snell, back to Mosier. O'Keefe and Merker putting on the pressure up front for Muskegon. Now here comes Sashoka. Sashoka looks for the turn ball, so they go to O'Keefe the other way. O'Keefe going 1v3. Wisenhunt may have gotten a touch to that. Now here's Kalu Abbas. Abbas comes in field. Not a good pass, though, and the Risers attack the other way. That was Brandon Dinsmore who won that ball. Now here's Yamada with a shot blocked in the box. Abbas trying to shield Dinsmore and does, and the Swerve able to clear it ahead for Abe Kenna. Been quiet tonight. Yamada with a shot goes through the box. Eric Moser might have gotten a touch on that. Now Michael Schmidt with 10:15 to go in the third. Still 3-0 to the Swerve. Yamada goes for the heel pass. Snell is there for Cincinnati. Novakovic briefly dispossessed by Yamada, but he gets it back to Eric Mosier as the Swerve complete a change. Logan Gray. Now a ball ahead for Abe Kenna. He's marked down there by Michael Vollmer. Again, he's 77. He's normally the second choice goalkeeper. And that's an easy decision for the referee as the foul is whistled up against Matthew Schmidt. 9:40 left in the third. A good touch there by Ewell Bugasi to get the ball away and then win the free kick by way of the foul. Adjai ahead for Marcus Ernst. Ernst trying to come in field against Michael Schmidt. Back to Logan Gray, and now all the way back to Wisenhunt, just blasted all the way in to the Muskegon end, but over the boards. Didn't have many other options as he was being pressured up there. Not the wisest of back passes. 9:20 to go in the third period. Moses Crawford. Now Brandon Edwards. Look for O'Keefe, but it wasn't there. All the way back. Crawford's going to have to backtrack to chase that ball down. Crawford with Marcus Ernst facing up on him. Instead, we'll go to Brandon Edwards and back to Crawford. Crawford will make the switch looking for O'Keefe. Alex Snell was there first. Edwards forced to withdraw. Back to O'Keefe. O'Keefe looking for some help with 8:40 to go in the third, and the Swerve still leading the Risers 3-0. Cincinnati then looking for only their second win of the season. Johnson, Yamada, Crawford. Wagenmakers come out in defense. Crawford to Yamada, looks for the return ball on the overlap. Wisenhunt makes the kick save. Crawford gets it free to Wagenmaker. Now a swipe at it by Francesco Calabresi, and it's swept across the box. Yamada able to win it back and get it across the way to Calabresi. Ahead for Wagenmaker, overlapping. Wagenmaker able to bring it off the boards and get it back to Crawford with 8 minutes to go in the third. No goal scoring yet in this third period. Now Johnson coming in field. The shot blocked by Adjai. Now Sashoka. Sashoka with a run forward. Marcus Ernst got in the way of that. Yamada trying to keep it down the corner and wins the free kick. .736 remaining in period number 3. Again, the Risers scored 15 on Cincinnati just a few weeks ago up in Muskegon. Crawford with a shot missed on the short side, and the Swerve able to clear their lines, but O'Keefe gets there first to get it back to his goalkeeper, Akani Meambu. Crawford being pressured and loses out. And then a foul on Crawford, so good restart opportunity for the Swerve. It's Kalu Abbas who won that free kick after he won the ball from Moses Crawford. Looks like he wants this. Manny Agi and Alex Snell outside, but Jay Schneider's calling for a timeout here with 7:18 left in period number 3, and the Swerve still leading 3-0. No scoring yet in this third period. Again, Jay Swallow and Andre Novakovic, the goal scorers for the Swerve. But the real story has been Corey Wisenhunt, some spectacular goalkeeping, especially in that first period. The Risers had quite a few good goal-scoring opportunities and probably at least even on the shots on goal. But Wisenhunt came up big on several occasions, including one off his face. Again, the Swerve playing back-to-back for the second consecutive weekend. They'll host Cleveland Crunch here tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. If you're not in the Cincinnati area, we'll have that one here on Facebook Live as well. Crunch, 10 wins from 10, have won the division. Muskegon sitting 5 wins, 6 losses. Second place, they've also booked a playoff place. So Kalu Abbas on this restart. Manny Agi and Alex Snell lined up. They'll go to Snell, and I think that hit Agi. If not him, O'Keefe. Second chance of the ball at the boards, and a great scoring opportunity goes by the boards. Manny Agi couldn't get that on goal. Came off the boards awfully quick. That's a hard one to keep down. 7 minutes left in period number 3. Crawford. Dinsmore. Tyler Washington up there putting on some pressure. Now here's Steve Merker. Merker for Crawford. Gets the return ball into the box, but again, catching practice for Corey Wisenhunt, who quickly gets it to Manny Agi. Always a safe play to put it on Manny Agi's feet. Kalu Abbas wins the ball in the corner from Brandon Edwards. Now Washington gets it back to Agi. He'll go all the way back to Wisenhunt with 6:15 to go in the third. Long ball ahead, Crawford trying to get that ball away from Abe Kenna. And it's Steve Merker now for the Risers in the green kits. Edwards. Yamada. Now Dinsmore. Well, it's red and green. It's either Christmas or the Tournament of Roses. Take your pick. Ball at the boards in front. Manny Agi is there, and then Crawford wins a free kick for the Risers. The referee says, no, Brandon Dinsmore, you have to bring it back here where the foul was committed, not there at the top of the arc. Zach Pike of Vixel Video handling all the technical aspects. I'm Keith Kokinda. Glad you could join us here on Facebook Live. 5:45 left in the third. Crawford will take it himself for Yamada. Not a very good shot. Agi is there. Gets ahead for Washington. Washington can't beat Mayambu to the ball, but it does come free, and then Novakovic I should say, yeah, Novakovic couldn't put it in the open net. The South Africa took a big chance coming out there to challenge Tyler Washington with all his pace, but he did enough. Ball ahead into the corner for Matthew Schmidt. Tries to bang it off the boards. Can't get it by Moser. And then the free kick won by the Risers. 5:13 left in the third. Still 3-0 Swerve. Muskegon make a line change here for this restart. That's Michael Vollmer, the goalkeeper, number 77 at the top of the box. Instead, they go to the far post. The header try by Merker is denied again by Wisenhunt. That's 4 times Merker's been denied on terrific saves by Corey Wisenhunt. Novakovic forced to withdraw to the halfway line for Mosier. Now a little 1-2 trying to find Logan Gray making the overlapping run, but Vollmer is there first. Colin O'Keefe trying to fight off the challenge from Novakovic and does so to get it back to Michael Schmidt. 4.5 minutes left in the third period. Long ball ahead, not a good first touch from Calabrese. Merker coming in trying to help out. Works it free across the way for Michael Schmidt. Now O'Keefe. O'Keefe can't get past Manny Agi. Not many do. Schmidt for O'Keefe, who is looking for a change, has said he has to play the ball. Now he'll go off as he gives it to Edwards. Michael Schmidt again. Wagonmaker coming off the bench making the overlapping run. Now here's the switch for Edwards in the corner. Edwards can't turn Novakovic. He has to play it off the glass. And cleared away by the Swerve. Moba Sashoka there for the Risers is dispossessed, but wins it back. Now Edwards. Novakovic with the challenge, and a rather clumsy one, and the foul is whistled up. .338 left in the third period. It is the third period, despite what it says on the scoreboard. But the score is correct, 3-0 Cincinnati. Schmidt off the restart, trying to find Wagonmaker. Wisenhunt touches into the corner. Michael Schmidt tracks it back down and gets by Ted Swallow. Now a pass trying to find Robbie Johnson. A little bit out of his reach. Here comes Tyler Washington. Ahead for Kalu Abbas. Abbas against Yamada. His pass to the box is partially deflected. Mayambu had to jump on it. He spilled it, but Yamada is there for the Risers. Ahead for Sashoka. Across the way for Matthew Schmidt, who finally scores for Muskegon. .11:54 the time of the goal. Matthew Schmidt. A wonderful pass from Moba Sashoka. And the Risers finally pull one back to make it 3-1. Agi. And Agi being pressured by Steve Merker goes back to Wisenhunt. Wisenhunt's pass, a loose one. Dinsmore sends it into the corner for Merker. Merker. Vollmer mishit that ball, and here comes Novakovic, 1v2, going up against Crawford, trying to get by Crawford from a tight angle, and Mayambu is there for the Risers. Here's Dinsmore. Dinsmore goes across to Matthew Schmidt, the goal scorer for Muskegon. He's dispossessed, can't win it back. Novakovic is there. Novakovic looking for help, doesn't get it. Matthew Schmidt with the shot blocked by Eric Mosier. 2:15 left in the third. Edwards waiting for help as Muskegon complete a change. Here's Crawford. O'Keefe calling for it and gets it. Yamada up ahead on his left. Gets by Novakovic. Leaves it for Yamada. Taichi Yamada finds Brandon Dinsmore. Now Moses Crawford. Yamada. O'Keefe to his left. Instead goes right. Crawford again. Crawford comes in field from long distance but misses on the short side. Yamada takes a shot in the midsection And it's going to be a 2 minutes penalty. I'm not sure who it was that got the high foot up there, but it clearly caught Yamada. And the Japanese went down in a heat, but he's up and okay now. $14:20 the time of the penalty, so this will carry over to the second period. It's Novakovic who gets the gate. This will carry over to the second period if the Risers fail to score, but they have 1:40 to do it right now. They have O'Keefe, Merker, Crawford, Matthew Schmidt out there. And here in this corner, it's Francesco Calabrese, and the second bite of the cherry is just over the top. 1:50 left in the man advantage for the Risers, who trail 3-1. Here's O'Keefe. Calabrese. O'Keefe again. Swerve playing that diamond penalty-killing formation. Eric Mosier is out there in that right corner killing this penalty, along with Manny Ajayi, Kalu Abbas, and Abe Kenna as Wisenhunt makes the save there. 1:05 left in the period, 35 seconds gone in the man advantage. Here's Mobasa Shoku, who set up the earlier goal for the Risers. Going 3v3. Gets a pass across into the box, partially blocked by Mosier. Sashoka wins it back. Matthew Schmidt, Sashoka finishes it off. So Sashoka and Matthew Schmidt trade roles there for the power play goal. At 14-14. So goals just over 2.5 minutes apart by the Risers. Suddenly see them get back to within one at 3-2 here near the end of the third period. Back to Manny Ajayi from Marcus Ernst. Ernst looks for the return ball in the corner, fighting off Dinsmore. They tangle. Ball comes free, and Dinsmore able to clear it to the halfway line. Ajayi with a little flick, but only finds Colin O'Keefe. 3v2 if the Risers hurry, but Tyler Washington with that great pace, able to backtrack and cut off O'Keefe. Colin O'Keefe's pretty fast, but he doesn't have Tyler Washington's pace. Here's Dinsmore, down to 15 seconds. O'Keefe. Washington facing up on him. O'Keefe's shot is blocked by Logan Gray. Now here comes Novakovic. He gets by the defender and scores his third. With 0.2 of a second left in the period, Andrei Novakovic completes the hat trick, admittedly with the aid of the stumble by Brandon Dinsmore, it looked like. Suddenly, when it looked like the Risers had all the momentum going into the period, a smash and grab raid by Andrei Novakovic. Now, there were 0.2 of a second left. Calabrese never did kick the ball off, but the clock ran out. And that will do it for officially. So, Andrei Novakovic completes his hat trick at the very last gasp of the third period to make it 4-2 Cincinnati going into the fourth. A stunning turn of events there. After the Risers scored a couple goals in just over 2.5 minutes to pull back within one. So here we go into period number 4. I'm Keith Kokinda. Glad you could join us here on our Cincinnati Swerve Facebook page for this MASL2 match. A rather desultory third quarter until near the end when the Risers pulled back a couple of goals by way of Moba Sashoka and Matthew Schmidt. Schmidt scored the first one, a great pass from Sashoka at 11:54, and then they reversed roles on the power play at 14-14. It's 3-2, and the Risers have all the momentum, but a stunning end-of-the-period goal by Andrei Novakovic to complete his hat trick makes it 4-2 as somebody on the Swerve bench just got booked. I'm not sure if it was Jay Schneider or Craig Rodas. So the wildness continues. Who said March Madness was only about basketball? Got a little maddening there at the end of the period as Kalu Abbas here having a conversation with the referee about something. He pointed up at our camera up there. I'm not sure why. It's definitely far enough back from the net as to not interfere with play in any way. Now here we go. Cincinnati going left to right in the red kits here in the fourth period. Risers in the all green as Colin O'Keefe puts one well over the top and is rather disgusted with himself. Corey Wisenhunt, who had a fantastic first half and was a big reason why the Swerve led 3-0 at halftime. As the Swerve returned the favor. Actually, they put the ball into the ceiling netting, so the free kick belongs to the Risers at their own defensive line. 30 seconds into the fourth period. Swerve only played one overtime game this season. They did win it. The win over Chicago, the only win of the season, 9-8. Here's a chance. Shot partially deflected and finally put away on the back post. Robbie Johnson scoring for Muskegon. Just 46 seconds into the fourth period. The original shot was taken by Francesco Calabrese. So all of a sudden, here it is, a one-goal game again, 4-3 now to the Swerve. Manny Agi being pressured there by Steve Merker. Gets it ahead for Novakovic, all the way in the corner. Moba Sashoka, who has a goal and assist. Trying to win that ball, dig that ball away for Tyler Washington, but Washington dispossesses him and gets it back to Agi. Agi able to come in field, takes a long shot, trying to spin it with the outside of the right foot. Didn't come off. Quick throw by Mayambu, finding Sashoka. Sashoka, all he could do is put it on the boards and easily claimed by Corey Wisenhunt. Agi again. Sashoka puts on the pressure, but Agi gets by him. Washington to his right, uses him. Pass a little too strong up the boards and then cleared out by Merker. So the Swerve get the restart. 13:27 left in regulation. And the Swerve leading 4-3. Agi looking for some movement up front. Instead has to go back to Logan Gray. Now here's Abe Kenna. Check that, Kalu Abbas. Dispossessed by Michael Schmidt. Now O'Keefe the other way. O'Keefe going against Gray and Washington. And it's Washington who wins the ball for the Swerve. Now back to Wisenhunt. 2 minutes played in this fourth period. Swerve holding on to a 4-3 lead. Brandon Dinsmore called for that foul as he took down Manny Agi. Eric Mosier, Logan Gray in the back. Mosier plays it ahead. This is Abe Kenna looking for a runner. Doesn't find one. Instead back to Mosier. 12:50 left in the fourth. Gray's pass ahead. Not a good first touch. Taichi Yamada comes in and wins the free kick for the Risers. Swallow and Novakovic with 3 for the Swerve. Schmidt, Sissoko, and Johnson. Sissoko and Johnson for the Risers. 4-3 Cincinnati. Yamada across the way for Edwards. Edwards looks for the return ball. Lost out. Yamada wins it back from Muskegon and then puts it over the top. .20 left in regulation. Novakovic finds Alex Snell. The return ball for Novakovic. Trying to get by Crawford. I think Crawford got a touch on that, and he did, so the free kick belongs to Cincinnati down the corner, near the corner kick spot. Novakovic wants this one. Eric Mosier is there. Mosier with the shot, blocked in front. Mosier's beaten out to the ball by Matthew Schmidt, who has the goal and assist as well, but Wisenhunt comes off his line to win it for the Swerve. Kenna for Washington. Novakovic making the run ahead of him. Tackle from behind by Calabrese. Edwards trying to win it back from, or I should say Edwards trying to hold off Washington's challenge. Now here's a chance right on. Mayambu makes the save to deny Eric Mosier. Mosier gets it back, being pressured by Matthew Schmidt. Here's Abe Kenna. 11:25 left in regulation. Mosier again. Goes back to Logan Gray. Ryan, his brother, is out injured as well. Novakovic. Manny Agi. The return ball for Novakovic in the corner. Looks for some help. Crawford is there defensively, as is Merker, who clears. Now Matthew Schmidt. Swerve win it back. Kenna going 1v3, looks for some help. Finds it in Alex Snell. The switch. Pass just out of the reach of Abe Kenna. And now back to Manny Agi at the halfway line with 10.5 minutes left in regulation. Pass ahead is intercepted by Steve Merker. Manny Agi can't win that ball in the tangle with Robbie Johnson, but the Risers clear it over the boards. Agi and Gray in the back line now for Cincinnati. Agi playing it ahead, looking for Marcus Ernst, who fights with Michael Schmidt, and Schmidt wins the ball for the Risers. Now O'Keefe. Yamada making the run ahead to his left, and he uses him. Back to O'Keefe. Across for Michael Schmidt. He's paired with Robbie Johnson in the back line. His pass looking for Yamada goes all the way through, and Wisenhunt has it easily. Wisenhunt trying to find Kalu Abbas. Ridden off by Johnson. Schmidt sends it forward. Yamada giving chase, but Wisenhunt will be there first. Gets it ahead for Gray. Agi for Washington. O'Keefe. It's fun watching those two with their pace going at it. O'Keefe for Sissoko. Sissoko makes the run forward after his pass. 9:35 left in regulation. Swerve still leading 4-3. Michael Schmidt across the way to Michael Vollmer, normally the goalkeeper, albeit second choice. Here comes Manny Agi in the overlapping run, trying to get by Ryan Wagonmaker. Instead, he'll go back and to his goalkeeper, Corey Wisenhunt. That's Sissoko putting on a little token pressure. Wisenhunt's long ball. Michael Schmidt gets there first and is able to nod it back to Akani Mayambu, the South African goalkeeper. Here come the Swerve the other way. Eric Mosier, he'll go himself, missed it just wide, nods it down for Novakovic. And getting there defensively was Michael Vollmer. 8:54 left in regulation. The Swerve up 4-3 over the Risers. Risers were held at bay largely by Corey Wisenhunt until late in the third period when they got a couple of goals to get back into the match. Long ball ahead. Mayambu comes off his line and wins the ball, but it falls to Mosier. Top of the box, Novakovic pokes it away, but the foul whistled up. Or is it? No, the goal's been given. It looked like Mayambu had it off the first touch by Novakovic, was not a good one. He poked it free, and the goal indeed has been given. So Novakovic, his fourth, and the Swerve restore a 2-goal advantage. Here's Tyler Washington fighting off a challenge from Moses Crawford. Tries to get out to Abe Kenna. Not a good first touch, and Brandon Dinsmore has it for the Risers. Now it's Robbie Johnson. Right up Route 1, finding Steve Merker. Merker couldn't turn and fire. 7:50 left in regulation. O'Keefe as Dinsmore makes the run forward. Across for Johnson. Johnson tries to spin one in for O'Keefe. It's taken away. And here comes Abe Kenna, 1v3 again. Kalua Boss making the late run. Looks for the ball off the boards, gets it, and the shot is blocked by Taichi Yamada. Good defensive play there by the Japanese. Otherwise, it could have been 6-3. And Yamada with a good tackle to win the ball to O'Keefe. Crawford to his left. Yamada to his right. Crawford looking for a way through, can't find it. And now poked away from him by Mosier as he'll have to withdraw to his halfway line, or to the halfway line, I should say. 7 minutes left in regulation. Swerve up 5-3 over the Risers, looking for only their second win of the season. And it's an easy handball decision going against Alex Snell, as now Francesco Calabresi goes nose-to-nose with Manny Agi about Manny holding the ball and keeping him from getting a quick restart. Brandon Edwards to trigger this from Michael Schmidt. It hit Kenna, and there's the goal off the bounce, off the boards for Ryan Wagenmaker. Now both Schmidt brothers now on the score sheet at 8:13. As we reach the middle of the period timeout break. And once again, for the third time here in this game, the Risers have pulled the goal back to get within one. As looks like Mayambu and Wisenhunt were commiserating a bit over that last goal that Mayambu conceded. As a goalkeeper myself, I was rather surprised that that was given, seeing as how it looked like Mayambu did get possession off of the first poor touch by Novakovic. Again, Cleveland Crunch in town tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. We'll have that here on the Cincinnati Swerve Facebook page as well, as the Swerve play their final home match of the regular season. They will travel to Cleveland, North Olmsted to be specific, at Soccer Sportsplex over on the west side next Saturday to close out the regular season. Crunch coming in, again, a perfect 10 wins from 10. They and the Risers will be the Great Lakes Division representatives in the MASL 2 playoffs. But for Ben Ritzema's Risers, it'll be a big ask with all the injured players they have, especially their top goal scorers being out. Marcus Stearns to kick this off. 6:47 to go in regulation. Crawford there defensively for the Risers. Washington ridden off the ball by Johnson. Ernst wins it back. Ernst fighting off a challenge from Johnson. O'Keefe gets it to Crawford, or to Sashoka. Now Crawford. Back to Mayambu. For Johnson, being pressured by Novakovic. Sashoka had a goal and assist back in the third period as he and Matthew Schmidt traded roles on back-to-back goals in the space of less than 3 minutes. Merker holds off the challenge from Manny Agi. Sashoka dispossessed by Novakovic. Novakovic now going to try to go 1v2. Crawford there defensively for the Risers. Washington. 5:50 left in regulation. Swerve still up 5-4. 3 times the Risers have gotten within 1, but no closer. Sashoka. Agi got there first. Able to flick it on the boards to Alex Snell. Long pass ahead for Abe Kenna. Going against Crawford. Moses Crawford applying the pressure. Kenna content to hold the ball. Here come the Risers the other way. That's Matthew Schmidt with a good ball ahead and a chance. Wisenhunt with the save to deny Brandon Dinsmore. Yamada calling for the ball on this side and gets it.
Come on, Swerve, let's go!
Matthew Schmidt again. Yamada. Agi getting in the way. Sends it at the boards for Novakovic. Novakovic going at Crawford. Yamada giving chase. Novakovic well wide. Alex Snell able to win that ball away temporarily, but he put it right on the foot of Moses Crawford. Now Taichi Yamada with 4:45 left in regulation. Crawford. Crawford gets it back. I have to wonder when Ben Ritzema will call timeout and get the extra attacker out there. Here goes Dinsmore. Dinsmore. Snell got a tackle in there. Dinsmore goes down, but the referee says no, play on, boys. Long ball ahead, only finds Brandon Edwards trying to get it ahead to Kalu Abbas. Now here's Yamada with some time and space. Looks for the return ball. Instead, it's O'Keefe who equalizes. At 10:51, the Risers have finally drawn level at 5-5. Corey Wisenhunt's been terrific tonight, but there was nothing he could do about that. A wonderful pass to find Colin O'Keefe, who had the easy finish. Now Tyler Washington being pressured by Robbie Johnson. Ahead for Kalu Abbas. Tackle away by Francesco Calabrese. Back to Manny Agi. Long ball ahead. Finds Ted Swallow, who scored the first Cincinnati goal. Trying to get it to Washington. Merker is there. All the way back to Calabrese in his own end. 3:37 left in regulation. 5-5. The Risers have come all the way back to make things all square. Washington takes away the loose pass from Michael Schmidt. Washington. Abbas gets shoved to the turf. And very smart play by Abbas to not respond. .321 left in regulation. Agi. He'll run the show right now. Looking for some movement up front. That's Calabrese putting on the pressure. Will go all the way back to Wisenhunt. Into the corner, trying to find Snell. Ball up the boards. Abbas trying to hold off Yamada. Now here comes Yamada. It's a 2v1 with Calabrese. Here's Calabrese. Not a good first touch. Wisenhunt takes advantage of it and gets a foot in to clear it away. 2:50 left in regulation. 2:51. The clock hasn't restarted yet for some reason. We had that problem a couple weeks ago, if you recall. Back to Edwards. Still haven't gotten the clock. Now it's going. Risers getting an extra 15 seconds there. Now here's O'Keefe, who scored the equalizer. To the back post, Sashoka pushes it wide. Schmidt gets it back to Sashoka. It's Michael Schmidt. And there he is again. Merker for Sashoka. Back to Merker. 2:20 left in regulation. Michael Schmidt. Merker again. Now O'Keefe. Swallow putting on some pressure. Now Merker with some time and space to overlap. Merker with the dish into the corner. And Edwards' pass across the way cleared out. O'Keefe tracks it down again. 1:55 left in regulation. Holding on as the Risers complete a line change. Moses Crawford into the box. Wisenhunt with the punch. Excellent goalkeeping there. Taichi Yamada coming in field, and he hit the post. Oh, he had that top left corner picked out, but he was denied by the woodwork. Dinsmore giving chase as the boss puts some pressure on him. 1:25 left in regulation. Crawford again. Crawford into the box. Wagonmaker tried to flick it on, but he flicked it over the boards instead. And now Cincinnati will call timeout with 1:19 to go in regulation. Again, Cincinnati's only win came in overtime against Chicago. The Risers have certainly had their tails up ever since they got that equalizer. Sometimes you see a team, they fight back, they finally equalize, and then they're so tired they can't defend anymore. Instead, the Risers able to keep the pressure on. And they force Wisenhunt into a couple more very good saves. Well, 5-5, 1:19 left in regulation. The Risers have never led, and this is kind of reminiscent over the first game these two teams played here, where the Risers trailed most of the night and finally got their noses in front late and were able to hold on for the 9-7 win back on December 11. Manny Agi's out there along with Alex Snell. Andre Novakovic with 4 goals. Kalu Abbas and Abe Kenna. They'll go for the long ball, looking for Kenna, who's going to have to backtrack to get there. Instead, first one there is Steve Merker for Muskegon. Now it's Novakovic trying to get by Crawford. O'Keefe comes in to help out, bangs it off the boards. Novakovic touches it across. Eric Mosier nods it down. It's Mosier out there, not Snell. Mosier with Kalu Abbas waiting in the box. Never could get the pass. It was taken away from him. Novakovic looks like he got the last touch, and he did. 51.5 seconds left in regulation. 5-5. Agi, good defensive play there. Yamada for Crawford. Now O'Keefe. O'Keefe will get the equalizer. Goes in and taken down, but we play on. A fair challenge. Oh, no, they gave the advantage first. Now they're going to say the foul came just outside the box. 34 and 6/10 seconds left. O'Keefe is appealing for 2 minutes, saying he was deliberately pulled down with a clear goal-scoring opportunity. We do not have VAR here, so the referee's decision stands. A great restart opportunity just outside the box for the Risers. Again, 34 and 6/10 seconds left. The referee on that far side put both her arms out, signaling play on. Was the referee on this near side? He came running and said, after giving the advantage, what thought was going to be an advantage, then whistled up the foul. So a great opportunity for the Risers to get their noses in front for the first time tonight. Now the one referee, she's gone over to discuss it with the officials over at the bench. And that was not whistled up as a foul initially. The referee on that side in the corner, she waved play on. And the advantage was temporarily given, and then when it was cleared out, the referee here on this near side came running in from the halfway line and said, yes, there's a foul. And now the blue card has finally been pulled out. At least it sure looked like it. And then a red card looks like it was shown to Jay Schneider. And well, yeah, it was indeed Schneider who has been sent off. So either he said something completely inappropriate or that was his second yellow from earlier. At the beginning of the fourth quarter, a yellow card was shown to the Cincinnati bench, so apparently that was on Jay Schneider as well. So it will be a shootout attempt for Colin O'Keefe. And now Muskegon will take their time out here. In 34 and 6/10 seconds left. And it'll be a 1v1 shootout attempt. Colin O'Keefe going against Corey Wisenhunt, who has been spectacular for the most part tonight. Will have to come up with his biggest save by far here to keep this game at 5-5 and get it into extra time. So here we go, 34 and 6/10 seconds left. Colin O'Keefe for Muskegon gets a shootout attempt against Corey Wisenhunt of Cincinnati Swerve. 5-5 is the score. O'Keefe looking to score to potentially the game winner. Wisenhunt looking to force extra time. Once he touches the ball, the other players who are at the halfway line can go join the play, and the ball will be live. Well, Wisenhunt has been fantastic. Now being called upon to come up with the biggest save of the night for the Swerve. So here we go. O'Keefe puts it by Wisenhunt to make it 6-5. And we do apologize for any of the R-rated commentary that may have come through here. So 6-5. Risers with their first lead of the night. Now Manny Ajay will have to play extra attacker here, as the Swerve will now have to look for an equalizer in the last 32 and 8/10 seconds. Second straight goal scored by Colin O'Keefe. .32 and 8/10 seconds left. Risers lead 6-5. Cincinnati with Manny Ajay right there as the extra attacker, looking for an equalizer after leading almost all night. Kalu Abbas. Abbas shot blocked. Finds Eric Mosier. Now Novakovic with 4 goals tonight, but it might not be enough, sent in deep by Brandon Dinsmore, and Mosier will have to chase it down with 9 seconds. Is there enough time? Here's Abbas with 4 seconds, with 3. Abbas will have to chip it long. It's over the top, and that will do it. Muskegon Risers, as they did back in December, fight from behind and come up with a win over Cincinnati Swerve 6-5. Colin O'Keefe getting the last 2 goals to win it for Muskegon. So that will do it from Game Time Training Center. Back at it tomorrow, 3 p.m., last home game of the season, as the Swerve take on Cleveland Crunch. For Zach Pike of Vixel Video, I'm Keith Kokinda. Good night from Fairfield, Ohio. Swerve 5, Risers 6.